Welcome back to another fun-filled show. I'm your host. He is Blanchard, aka Free Blanche, aka Blanche Radamus, aka Blanchy Kruger. Today's title is A Cautionary Tale, Claudia Jordan. A Cautionary Tale, Claudia Jordan. I want to give you all an intro real quick. The main problem with Black women is that they worship the unholy Trinity. What is the unholy Trinity? I will tell you. The unholy Trinity is Satan, Black women, and gay men. Satan, queens, and gay Black men, or as Sundaya likes to say, the sodomites. So Satan, the queens, and the sodomites. That's who Black women worship. And the problem is that unholy Trinity is going to lead to death, destruction, and damnation. If you think about Black women right now, they lead in STDs, they lead in abortion, they lead in divorce, they lead in poor health. Like, Black women lead in every negative category for women. But that's not because of what they want to tell you is racism and the white man. No, it's because they've cursed themselves. They run the Black community, and now you see what happens when women are in charge. What you see is death, destruction, and damnation. And I'm saying this as a cautionary tale because most Black women cannot see the forest through the trees, meaning they are hyper emotionally driven. Like, they don't even value family, and if it's just so much. And if they do value family, it's usually through treachery and deceit. I'm just being honest. Black women have the worst character out of all the women. And the problem is that it's cultural, meaning that it's accepted, it's promoted. And I don't care. People try to tell me that we're not all Black women. 98.9% of Black women. And the ones that say they believe in God and they believe in Jesus, those might be the worst. I'm just being honest. Because when they're in church or when they're in their Bible, when they're praying, they're not talking to God. They're talking to Satan. I'm just saying. Happy New Year. What's up, y'all? What's up, The Ice Cold Wolf? What's up, Sewing for Night? What's up, Prudence? And what's up, JV Chanel? What's up, y'all? Happy New Year. Well, they say this is not the real New Year. They say the real New Year is in the springtime. So I guess happy fake New Year. I don't know. Anyway, let's just jump right into Claudia Jordan real quick and see what she has to say.
We're always taking care of somebody else.
Okay.
It's about, I feel like when I first started dating back in the 1900s, I feel like love wasn't something that people were embarrassed about. Even the music was different than movies. And I often look back like, damn, I wish this generation could experience like the kind of like, I don't know, I guess you guys would call it like, what's it called when you like kind of, you go out bad for someone? I can't even think of the word. Kind of like being simping, sprung, all that, like all those good R&B songs where the brothers were singing and they was like grasping the air and they was in the ring.
Whipped. That's what we call it. Whip appeal. You remember? Babyface? You got that whip appeal.
With the white linen.
The 112.
Yes. But like, that's what the vibe felt like back then. Like men would pursue you and it felt like you were being courted and it felt like you were special. It didn't feel like, we didn't have all these 50-50 conversations or eyeing the prize, and it's just like, it just felt.
Okay, stop right here. So Claudia Jordan is 52 years old. She's 52 years old and she doesn't have any sense. What I'm trying to tell you all is that Black women, I used to think it was just Black men that had arrested development, but now I see it's also Black women. Black women don't mature. They don't. Claudia Jordan is 52 years old and she sounds like she's in her early 20s. Claudia Jordan is a good-looking woman. She's 52. And she has a good disposition, meaning that she has a pleasant disposition. She doesn't have a scowl on her face. She ain't hitting her. She ain't doing this. So you have to wonder, well, why isn't Claudia Jordan successfully married or happily married? And I'll tell you why. Because Claudia Jordan listens to Satan, the queens, and the sodomites, as Sundaya likes to say. And that's her problem. I guarantee before Claudia Jordan started listening to black women, she was successfully dated. When she started listening to black women and wanted to be black, this is what happens. And I'm telling you this now, right now. This is not just Claudia Jordan. 99% of black women have this same mindset. I don't care what they tell you. They have this same mindset. I don't care if you think that they're conservative, they're conscious, they're spiritual, they're religious, they're believers. 99% of them have the same mentality. Why? Because they don't hold themselves accountable. You're rarely going to hear a black woman say, it's my fault. I messed it up. You may hear it when they're in the car crying and spilling their guts, but that's really just to attract some simps. It ain't genuine. Claudia Jordan, with her disposition, with her looks, should have been won in this game. But the reason why she has not won is because she worships the unholy Trinity. That is Satan, the queens, and the sodomites.
It felt like a good reason to get butterflies. Now I just feel like with so much access, maybe I hate to sound cliche and blame social media, but yeah, social media. I mean, humans are on the menu. You can just go find someone in any city you want, and I can reach out to a celebrity that I may have never encountered in real life. You can reach out to whoever. So it makes the person in your face maybe be less special to you. I don't know what it is, but it's just like
Boom. We've said this so many times. Women have too many selections right now. They are suffering from an abundance of selections. They keep trying to, as Patrice O'Neal said, better deal the situation that they're in. So instead of looking across the table at the person you're currently dating, you've got so many people that have DM'd you or sent you a picture in your phone that you can't focus. That is a confirmation. And we did warn you about that. We said that that was going to be an issue, but you didn't want to listen. Nobody wanted to listen. Yeah, you ain't getting back to the 90s no time soon like that.
in the perfect storm of negativity. And I feel like I hate that love seems to be going by the wayside, you know? And I felt like
And again, what he said is true. And so women, they have access to more men. But the problem is that men are evolving because they have to. Men have to adapt if they want to have a wife or a woman. Women aren't adapting. Like I said, Claudia Jordan sounds the same way she did when she was 20. She don't have, so you have men adapting and the women aren't adapting. But again, because there's so much of a selection for women, they have access to so many men, it's hypergamy to the extreme. But the problem is that these women don't have enough character to pick a good man. They don't. They're going to pick a good man based on, I guarantee, exterior cliche things. All women say they want a man that's God-fearing man, hardworking, employed. They all say the same thing. But who do they end up with? They all say they want this type of guy, but who do they end up with? They end up with the guys that their nature selects. You see, they talk about the guy they like, they want, the good guy, but that's not what their nature wants. Their nature wants the guy that gives them the most resistance. And so the problem is that these women, they never conquer their nature, never. So they come out into a dating market. Kevin Samuel says, I'm so powerful. Kevin Samuel said, how did she leave the relationship? He said, how did she leave the relationship? But then he said, there's a lot of karma attached to it. So think about Claudia Jordan being 52 years old. How did she exit her relationships? Because that matters. That matters. How a woman leaves a relationship, it matters. Because I'm telling you now, it's going to be a reflection there. Think about it. She's not going to change. That's who she is. And so Claudia Jordan should be a cautionary tale, but all Black women see is her looking good at 52. That's all they see. All they see is her successful and looking good at 52, and they say, you know what, I'll take it. Successful, looking good at 52, I'll take it. There's no way with Claudia Jordan's looks and disposition, she's well-spoken, she has manners and all of these, there's no way she didn't win. But I know why she didn't win, because she doesn't have any character. She's not a virtuous woman. When we talk about a woman being virtuous leads with her character. So what I'm saying is that any woman can win in this dating market. Any woman can win if she leads with character, because character sustains, looks don't. I guarantee, ladies, if you're listening, you're going to be more tormented by your looks than your man is. I guarantee it. Dear ladies, you're going to be more tormented by your own looks, by that mirror, than your man is. I guarantee it. Because he actually loves you for you. Not what you can do for him, not how you make him feel, but he actually loves you for you. Let's continue.
Like in your 40s and 50s back then?
You know, you think that when you're ready to settle down,
What do you wish someone had told you about dating like in your 40s and 50s back then?
you know, you think that
Again, Black women worship the unholy Trinity: Satan, the Sodomites, and the queens. Or Satan, the queens, and the Sodomites. This is what Black women worship. This is why they have most of their problems, because Satan, other Black women, and gay Black men all are going to promote bad behavior. And I keep talking about bad behavior because people believe that you can engage in bad behavior and have a good outcome. I keep telling you, you can't do it. Bad behavior leaves the door unlocked for Satan, always. And most Black women, 99% of them, engage in bad behavior, bad behavior, whether they are taking prescription medicine, tattoos, smoking weed, drinking, lying, cheating, stealing. Black women engage in bad behavior because culturally it's not only accepted, but it's promoted. It's promoted. JV Chanel said, Claudia Jordan, Stacey Dash, Vivica Fox, Tracy Ellis Ross, etc. They had their pick of the litter. No reason why they couldn't find a single man to settle with. Exactly. There's no reason why these women couldn't win, but I know why they didn't win. It's because of bad behavior. Because the guys they really want, the guys they need are going to find flaws in their character. The guys that they want aren't going to settle down with them. So they're really caught in a pickle. This is why I say if a woman's not submitted to God, she doesn't really stand a chance. She doesn't. I don't care what she engages in, it's not going to work. I don't care what happens, it's not going to work. Thank you, Willie Doc, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Cruise Missile, always supporting. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And again, I'm trying to save Black women because you all are headed down a path that's going to, I'm telling y'all, this is the majority of Black women have this spirit. They're not talking, they're talking to Satan. And it's sad because I talk to Black women that know the Bible, that go, and still, when I listen to them, they sound just like Claudia Jordan. They sound just like her. How's that possible? How can y'all follow Jesus, but sound like Claudia Jordan? It's just crazy.
What do you wish someone had told you about dating like in your 40s and 50s back then?
you know, you think that when you're ready to settle down, that there's always going to be a lot of supply on the shelves, and it's not. Like at this age, a lot of the good guys are married or taken because they're good guys. And I was having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine the other day, and I'm like, well, your best bet now is maybe someone that a good man that maybe is coming out of a marriage, getting a divorce. So, I think in our youth, and I would like people to know this when they're younger, we think, oh, there's always going to be an endless supply. I can wait till tomorrow. Don't put off your happiness waiting. If you find that good person, like a lot of times we wait, well, it's not the right time. It's not going to be like the right time. I would say go for it more. I wish I would have told someone told me just go for it. I probably have overlooked a good candidate before.
No, Claudia Jordan. No, you haven't probably looked over a good candidate. That's all you did. You're 52 and single with no children. That's all you did. So again, this is what I mean by a virtuous woman. Part of being virtuous is not lying. And I'm talking to Black women tonight because, dear Black women, in about 15 years, it's going to be very dark. I'm just telling you all, it's going to be very dark. The reason why y'all out here struggling is because you're not good women, period. You're not good women. What's a good woman? A good woman puts a godly man first. That is a good woman. So the reason why you're overlooking qualified candidates is because you're messing with another guy. We don't talk about this enough. How Black women will be out here dating, but they're sleeping with somebody else. I used to do it. I'm just telling you, Black women will be out here dating. They'll be on Pop the Balloon. They'll be on dating apps. They'll be going on dates. And then there's a guy coming over sleeping with her. And this is the average Black woman in dating market. The average. That's the norm. They got somebody who they really want to be with. He just knocking it out the park. She knows she can't be with him, so she just use it. It's just a sexual relationship. But she's still dating. She's still asking guys to pursue her, court her. I'm just telling y'all. So the reason why you can look like Claudia Jordan and be single at 52 is because you are not a good woman. If Claudia Jordan acted like my grandmother, she would have been married. If you women, you Black women, acted like your grandmothers, you'd already been married. But you don't like acting like your grandmother because you like bad behavior. See, Black women think if they do good for Monday through Friday, they get to cut up on Saturday and Sunday. I'm just telling you the logic of Black women. They believe if they do good for a period of time, it justifies their bad behavior. I'm just telling y'all. And I'm trying to save y'all. I really am. I'm truly trying to save you. Janan TV says, Blanche, even women that are submitting to God still have a hard time. So imagine if a woman that's submitted to God having a hard time, what do you think these other women are having?
Candidate before, like maybe,
Why is that though?
Me thinking the timing thing, maybe prioritizing career. I definitely was always like work. I never thought I could like the enough cushion built up to like relax and take my foot off the gas and start a family.
And then that just go on and on and on, and then you be 100 years old and you like, it's still working.
Still working. And I think I will say specifically with Black women especially, I feel like we don't really have the luxury to think that we can kind of take time off like that. And I specifically say Black women because like we're usually the backbone of everything. Not even just
bingo. Black women, and again, we are the backbones of everything. Now keep in mind, I don't care if she's conservative, if she's a Christian, or if she's Claudia Jordan. The majority of Black women think the same way because everything around them is telling them that they're right. They're talking to Satan, they're talking to other queens, and they're talking to gay Black men. In this literal interview, Claudia Jordan is talking to a gay Black man being interviewed. The Black women worship the unholy Trinity, 99% of them. And the 1% that don't, you can tell by the way they talk. You can tell by the way they talk. So Claudia Jordan wants you to believe that Black women are the backbone and they can't get any rest. Black women are the backbone of what? They're the backbone of death, destruction, and damnation. Think about the state of the Black community. Think about the state of the Black community. Think about Black culture. Think about everything Black. And then think about Black women being the backbone of it and tell me if it's good. Think about everything that's Black, and then you have Black women saying they're the backbone of that, and tell me, is it good? It's horrific. The Black family is at code red. My boy always says this, the Black family is code. Marriage should be the #1 priority, but not just marriage. Character development as a woman needs to be #1. You need to try to be a virtuous woman. That should be your #1 priority. Forget husband, forget marriage. You have major character flaws as Black women, major. And you don't want to deal with them because it hurts too much. I told you all the 4 pillars of destruction in the Black community. The 4 pillars are Black people, #1, Black people are emotionally unintelligent and immature. Second one, Black men suffer from arrested development. #3, Black women, no humility and also immature. #4, Black children suffer from no identity. Those are the 4 pillars of the Black community of destruction. Emotionally unintelligent, emotionally immature, Black men suffer from arrested development, Black women, no humility and also very immature, and Black children don't have an identity. Those are the 4 pillars of destruction in the Black community. And I'm saying that it is fixable, but it's not going to be fixable if Black women do not change their ways, meaning they have to become virtuous women. And that's the problem. That's the problem, is that Black women keep talking about marriage, but their character is in shambles. They keep talking about marriage, but their character is horrible.
With our families, but with our friend circles, like it's always something for us to do. We're always taking care of somebody else. I don't have children, but I'm always like feeding a friend or taking care of someone or helping somebody out or doing a favor. And I think that's a cape that we put on ourselves. No one told us to do this. It's just something in us that we do. And if you think about the Black woman in your life,
it's just something in us that we do. These are lies. And this is what all of your character traits have to be developed. Meaning when a child comes out of the womb, what's innately in the child is to be selfish. The child wants to be fed. The child wants to be held. The child wants comfort. So the nature of a person, both man and woman, is to be selfish. We want our needs met. We have to learn these character traits. We have to learn the fruits of the Spirit. We have to learn these things. So Black women, and I talk to enough of them, they believe that they're innately good. They're innately women that want to be selfless. They also believe that if they get married, they'll be able to submit then. If the right guy comes along, they'll submit it. Again, if a woman's not submitted to God, she's not going to submit to a man. It's just not going to happen. If a woman does not submit to God, she's not going to submit to a man. She can play the role for a little bit. The truth's going to come out. It always happens. So Claudia Jordan is on here trying to make you believe that the reason why she isn't married is because she's selfless. When in actuality, it's the opposite. She's very selfish. Very selfish. Not one time in this interview that so far we've watched that she said, I was wrong. Period. I was wrong. And that's period. I was wrong. I'm in this position because of myself. Period. She ain't gonna do it.
probably think, "Damn, she's like a superwoman for everybody else. When does she slow down for herself? I think with Black women specifically, it's harder for us to ever feel like we can just kind of take a break. We have to be like all gas, no brakes. I don't think we have the luxury of feeling like, okay, I can take a breather now and relax. And I think it's really sad. You know,
Nikki said, I had my pastor pray over my son New Year's Eve. I gave him back to God like Hannah did Samuel. I want you to think about what a godly woman sounds like. I'm going to read it again. I had my pastor pray over my son New Year's Eve. I gave him back to God like Hannah did Samuel. This is what a godly woman sounds like and talks like. This is what godly women sound like. They always, their default setting goes to God. When times get tough, they go to God. When they can't handle it, they give it to God. This is what godly women sound like. This is for men and women to know. You'll know somebody believes in God when the pressure comes on. How do they respond to the pressure? Do they turn to God? Do they turn to the world? It's easy to see. She said, pray to God that he leads you to a true church where you're edified and confirmed, and give them to God. That's all we can do. That's what a godly woman sounds like. Adina says, no boundaries and a huge ego. Exactly. That's Black women in a nutshell. No boundaries and a huge ego.
there's all these statistics about 45%, 65% of Black women will never get married, you know, and we're out here taking care of everybody else and not getting taken care of. And I think it's really sad. I think we self-impose this cape on ourselves to save the world. Look at all the marches. Look at all, I know this is dating, but I got to bring it into like the political space. We're always at the front lines for everybody else.
Black women are at the front lines for death, destruction. Think about what Black women put their energy towards. Think about it. What do Black women put their energy towards? Their aesthetics, their butt. Black women have butt worship. Black women think their butt can solve everything. Black women, their aesthetics, their butt, they put 99% of their stock in their appearance, which is going to fade. So the appearance, the butt, social media, politics for Democrats and communists and Marxists, promoting abortion, promoting a ratchet lifestyle. Like, just think about what Black women collectively put their energy behind. It's everything that's bad. So my question for anybody listening is, if the majority of Black women don't have any good sense and they're not talking to God and they're worshiping the unholy Trinity, Satan, the Sodomites, and the Queens, then where are Black women going to get an edifying word? I'm asking, where is the average Black woman going to get an edified word? Where is she going? We can't say church because most churches are compromised. The pastor's compromised because they'll fall for Jamal Bryant, Eddie Long, T.D. Jakes, and all them. So my question is, if the majority of Black women don't know what are lost, who is feeding them righteous information? Because Claudia Jordan is 52 years old and she sounds ridiculous. Nikki said the world. And I ask this question for real because if you talk to the average Black woman, they all sound the same. And I don't care if she's conservative. I don't care if she's Christian. I don't care if she's sexy red. If you talk to them, they all actually sound the same. It's just one group is more overt, one group is more covert, And then another group is like Claudia Jordan, where they say, well, maybe I made the wrong choice. Maybe I shouldn't have did this. That's the group, the maybe, straddle the fence group.
For everybody, brother gets killed, we're in the front lines. The LGBTQ community, we're in the front lines. Other women that are not even showing that up as our allies, we're in the front lines. Gaza, front line. We're always there for everybody else. And on top of all,
the majority of Black women are not protesting. The majority of Black women care about themselves. I'm sorry. The majority of Black women are not activists. That is a very small percentage. The majority of Black women could care less about politics and protesting and all that. They could care less. Black women care. Somebody put it up on the screen. Somebody said it. Somebody just said it. She listed out, okay, thank you, Tierra. Wigs, lashes, nails, and veneers. That's what Black women focus on. Not protesting, not saving America, not saving the world. They focus on themselves. So again, I'm trying to save you all because it's going to get dark. You all have made yourselves undesirable. And then the guys that you all pick, you're not even want to be with them. You're not. Wigs, lashes, nails, veneers.
all the stuff in our personal lives, we out here trying to save the world. When does that leave time to like really feel comfortable? When does that really leave time to like relax and or even just like put yourself first or dating? And I just feel like a lot of women get caught up in saving the world and then they leave little time for themselves.
Jules said all those causes are cabal. She's referencing undying loyalty to the cabal who owns their minds. They don't care about the cabal. Listen, they don't. I must say this again. Black women worship the unholy Trinity. That is Satan, that is the Sodomites, as Sundiah says, and that is the Queens. So it's either they worship all three or one or more of the three. But that is the 99% of Black women, 99%. Even the ones that say they're Christians, even the ones that say they believe in God, they are still talking to Satan. Still.
And you're my age, I'll be. So when you get to 40 and 50 and 60 and you're my age, I'll be 49 next month. You're not asking questions like, where did it go wrong? I'm telling you where it's going to go wrong, because the man that you want is not going to negotiate with you. So that's why you have to choose wisely. And that's why I say, ladies, do not waste your time, because you don't have time to waste. What Kevin said when asking these women, what did your mother teach you to do for a man? He said, it's to learn how to work with and for a man. So I am a woman of faith. I don't really talk about it, but even if you don't believe in the scripture, pick any book, pick any story, pick any religion. The man comes before the woman, and the woman is a helpmate. She is a support system. She makes life easier for him. She makes life more comfortable for him. She helps him achieve his goals. And
so again, what Maggie said, how many Black women do y'all know follow this philosophy? How many Black women do y'all know? And when I say put the man first, when she says that, that means above your feelings. Just like the man has to take care of the family above his feelings, same way with the woman. She has to put the man even above her feelings. It goes God, the man submits to God, he walks in his purpose, then his wife. The woman, she submits to God, then the husband, in that order. So I would tell any guy listening right now, If a woman does not take your instructions, I'm gonna say don't even waste any time. I learned the hard way. If a woman would not listen to instructions, then don't waste your time. Because when she's bouncing what you're saying off of what Satan said, and the world said, and her friends said, and her family said. So you're one voice competing with the world. You're probably gonna lose. When in actuality, the world shouldn't even be an option. This is what I mean. The world should not even be an option if you have a man. So what Maggie said is, the man that you need, the man that you truly need, he's not going to negotiate because he's not going to allow you to sabotage him. And again, this goes back to bad behavior. Janan TV says, the church teaches marriage to these young men, but we not living in the same age where the woman actually offers something. They offer nothing but want men to give everything. And this is true because as a woman, your first offering that you give to the man is that you're going to be a helpmate. I talked to a guy yesterday, and he said he was dealing with a woman for over 10 years, off and on for over 10 years. And he said she never once supported his business. Think about that. Think about a woman that says she wants to be married. She has a man that she's dealing with, and she doesn't support his business. If she doesn't support your business or what you got going on, when y'all get married, it's going to be 1,000 times worse. I talked to a guy who owns an auto shop, a very successful auto shop. He said that his wife never has been down there and doesn't even care, doesn't even ask questions about it. That's the problem. You married the wrong woman. If I have a girlfriend or I'm thinking about marrying somebody right now, she needs to be about everything I'm doing. She needs to be wearing the sweatshirts, the hats. She needs to be posting my videos. Just think about a woman saying she wants to be married, but she doesn't support anything the man is doing. That's insane. So no, as a woman, thank you, Janan. As a woman, your first offering is to be a helpmate to the man. So if the man's walking in his purpose, you should be all about assisting that man in his purpose. You should be all about it. And most of these women I found in my experience compete with you. What I find with most Black women is when they get with a man that can match them, especially intellectually, it's competition because they're so used to dealing with foolish men that when they get a man that can actually have a conversation with them, they don't say, well, girl, he got to know. They want to compete. Tell you what I see. It's a spirit. Most Black women want to compete with Black men they feel are they're equal or above them. They do. We are in a spiritual battle. And I'm trying to save y'all. I really am. Because I love y'all. That's all I've known in my life, is what I grew up around. That's all I've known. And to see the generation of Black women that's going to be lost is sad. I'm sad about it. But guess what? Listen, LARPing for cash, I'll accept that. If I meet a woman and she says, listen, Blanche, what you got going on, I'm in 100% agreement and I'm going to support you. What you need me to do? What you need me to do? Because that's the first purpose of a woman, is to be a helpmate, not to be an adversary, not to be saved. You need to come to the door saying, what can I do? That is a godly woman. That is a good woman. How can I assist? How can I help you? How can I bless you? That is a godly woman. Not you coming saying you want to be married. I'm the table. I want to be married. That's not how it works. Tierra said, what church is teaching marriage to men? I think most churches teach marriage to men. The point is that the pressure is not on the women to actually be wives. There needs to be a whole sermon about how y'all need to be wives and how you're not a wife. And so Black women need to be told, you're not a wife. You're not. They need to be told that you're not a wife. Doesn't mean you can't be a wife, but you are not a wife. No soft landings here. 99% of Black women are not wife material. It doesn't mean they can't be. Are the majority of Black men husband material? No. But there's more Black men that are husband material than there are Black women that are wife material. Not even close. It's not even close. So the church teaches for men to get married and do all the work, but not the women. I believe that in God's design, God designed it for the woman to come offering help, because relationships are for men. The Bible says that God saw that Adam was alone and that it wasn't good. So he created him a helpmate. So the purpose of a relationship is for the man. So if it's for the man, that means the woman needs to come humbly and asking, how can I assist? How can I be a helpmate? Most Black women want to compete with Black men. They do. They want to prove. I'm just telling y'all what I've seen. I'm just telling y'all. Even with my last two relationships, that was one common theme. One of them was super educated. One of them wasn't. They both had the same spirit of competition, wanting to compete. I'm like, why do you want to compete with a man? You can't compete with a man. You can't compete with. Why do you want to do it? I don't want to compete with you. Crazy. Tierra said, where are these men? I've met men who want to compete with me. I've always wanted to sit down and maintain the house. I don't want to work a 9 to 5 for a lavish lifestyle. I mean, listen, Tierra, it's possible they want to compete with you. I don't know. I just know that with Black women specifically, it's competition. Because it's almost like, think about it from this perspective. Think about a situation where the men are absent, and think about how the men are viewed. So a Black woman's upbringing, most of them, they don't have good versions. They don't have good outlook on men, period. They don't. And so when they get with a guy, it's already contention. It's already contention. LARPing for Cash said, Blanche, I read a bunch all the time. I read a bunch all the time, and my wife hates it and is interested in nothing about it. It seems like all of my hobbies even work. She cares less as far as interests. Well, I'm going to say this. When the guy told me that his wife didn't care about his business, it bothered him. When the other guy told me that the girl didn't care about his business, it bothered him. So I'm going to just say this. If your wife is not interested in what you got going on, it's a problem. I'm just saying, because my friends care about people. They don't even know online. People I know from social media support me. So think about the contrast. Think about this. Think about folks I never met in my life supporting me, buying my merchandise, sharing my content, giving me super chats and all super. Like, imagine the folks I don't know supporting me, and then imagine in a relationship and they don't. It's crazy. You can't even justify it. It's nuts. Meanwhile, if they got anything going on, I support them. Anything, I support them. Adina said, the men who are out here trying to compete with women are a part of the alphabet community or DL. Financially, Jules says financially, but perhaps can provide a home and be a domesticated support to his dreams and support him in his goals. And again, it doesn't take much to support a man in his purpose. Like, you can wear a t-shirt. You can put the link in your bio. Like it ain't like, especially now with social media, it's easy to support somebody. So it's easy. But let's continue. I'm sorry, let's continue.
Supply in the shelves, and it's not. Like, at this age, a lot of the good guys are married or taken because they're good guys. And I was having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine the other day, and I'm like, well, your best bet now is maybe someone that a good man that maybe is coming out of a marriage, getting a divorce. So, you know, I think.
And honestly, that is the worst guy, because a guy come out off a divorce and already been through it. If you show any signs, which you are, it's going to be a no-go. Like just the arrogance to think y'all can just go out there and get a guy that's divorced and a good guy. It's not going to happen, because the moment you exhibit signs of his ex-wife, you're out of there, and you're going to exhibit the signs because y'all all share the same mind. I'm trying to save y'all. I'm truly trying to save y'all.
It's not just in you as a Black woman.
100 years old, they like, it's still working.
Still working. And I think I will say specifically with Black women especially, I feel like we don't really have the luxury to think that we can kind of take time off like that. You know, and I specifically say Black women because, like, we're usually the backbone of everything. You know, not even just with our families, but with our friend circles. Like, it's always something for us to do. We're always taking care of somebody else.
Okay. No, it's not just in you as a Black woman to just do a bunch of stuff for a bunch of people. It's not just, it's not in your actual DNA. It's not. Okay. It's not. It can be learned. The models have been so close to you that you associate it with your identity. But no, I think Black women reject this narrative that it's just something inherent in your Black womanness to burn yourself out.
I think with Black women specifically, it's harder for us to ever feel like we can just kind of take a break. We have to be like all gas, no brakes. I don't think we have the luxury of feeling like, okay, I can take a breather now and relax.
Some of that is avoidance, like you just doing a bunch of stuff for a whole bunch of people, because if it gets too quiet in your own space and in your own mind, then you have to deal with yourself. It's
Corey Chandler. Hold on.
Something I think worth reflecting on. If you fit the profile of the woman that she's describing in your mind, then you have to deal with yourself. It's something I think worth reflecting on if you fit the profile of the woman that she's describing, which is herself.
Play this is Taylor Chandler. Play this again. What she just said is powerful.
Okay, I can take a breather now and relax.
Some of that is avoidance, like you just doing a bunch of stuff for a whole bunch of people, because if it gets too quiet in your own space and in your own mind, then you have to deal with yourself. It's something I think.
Bingo. Bingo. This is the nail on the head with Black women, is when it gets quiet and they have to sit somewhere and be still, this is what happens. They have to deal with themselves. This is the issue. And what she said is powerful. It's avoidance. Black women are running around doing all this stuff because they don't want to deal with themselves. They don't want to deal with themselves. And when you talk to them long enough, you can hear it. When you talk to them long enough, you can hear it. So Claudia Jordan and the rest of these Black women, they doing all this running around because they want to deal with themselves. Because dealing with themselves is difficult. If you ever dealt with yourself, it's difficult. It's difficult to look at yourself in the mirror and actually see who you really are, or who you've become. And then having to work through all of those things to be a better person. To have to work through all of that is difficult. Nobody wants to do it. So you got Black women being told they're queens, they're goddesses, they're saving the world, they're the backbone of the Black family, the backbone of America. They're being told all of this stuff, and it's all lies. They worship the unholy Trinity that is Satan, the Sodomites, and other queens. Satan, the Sodomites, and the queens. But what Taylor Chandler said was 1,000% correct. It's avoidance. You don't want to deal with yourself. You deal with the average Black woman is, again, chaotic, extremely chaotic, taking some type of prescription drug or self-medicating with marijuana, alcohol, poor relationship with father, poor relationship with men they dated in the past. The list goes on. This is the average Black woman, 99% of them. And the point of this live I'm doing today is truly out of love, because I know what's coming down the road. The devil will always give you what you want, but you'll never be able to enjoy it. So the devil gave you all the title of leading the Black community. He gave you the title of being the boss chick. He gave you the title of the #1 feminist, the title of the activist, the title of the queen, the goddess, the leader. The devil gave you all that, but guess what? The flip side, you lead the nation in STDs. You lead the nation in abortion. You lead the nation in divorce. You lead the nation among women in poor health. Like, you lead the nation in every category. Again, the devil will always give you what you want. He'll give it to you. But guess what? You'll never be able to enjoy it. So I'm telling you all now that you all have made a deal with Satan. And the only way out of the deal is to be honest with yourself and go repent. You know it's Satan because he's gonna tell you that you're right. That's how you know it's the devil. If that voice in your head agrees with you, you know it's Satan. It's just that simple. If the voice in your head agrees with you, you know that's Satan. Let's continue.
Reflecting on if you fit the profile of the woman that she's describing, which is that she put it out there, that the prioritizing.
I probably have overlooked a good candidate before, like maybe,
Why is that though?
Me thinking the timing thing, maybe prioritizing career. I definitely was always like work.
This is real small. Y'all know me, though. I like accountability and I like it to the utmost. I appreciate that she put it out there, that the prioritizing career. What I do want to point out, though, and ladies, this is for your communication skill, okay? To tune up your communication and to tune up your responsibility and accountability, which is very attractive. The whole I probably overlooked the right candidate. I think Claudia has thought about this enough to know that, yeah, you have. Yeah, you probably have someone in mind that you're thinking about. You probably have someone in mind. And I can only say probably because I'm not in your body and in your mind, but you know. And I think that it's even a higher level of responsibility to say, I overlooked someone who would have been, I think, a good spouse for me. I think it's a higher level of responsibility, not to say, maybe I was prioritizing work, but I was prioritizing work.
Yes, and what Taylor Chandler is saying, please go follow Taylor Chandler, licensed marriage and family therapist. Please go follow her. But what she's saying is that stop lying. Because when you say probably, you're lying, it's a lie. Again, bad behavior.
I probably have overlooked a good candidate before,
That is lying. Because what you're trying to convey to the audience is that you possibly didn't when you know you did. And I'm going to say this. Black people lie, which means Black women lie a lot. They do. And so it is nothing for Black women to lie. It's not. My mom was 39 for 20 years. My mom was 39 for 20 years. Do that math. But Claudia Jordan says, I probably overlooked again. This is why Black women are suffering. Being a virtuous woman is all but absent among them. I don't care if she's conservative, Christian, conscious, all the C's, Cardi, all the C's, it don't matter. Most of them share the same mind and the same spiritual, same character build. Same character build. So instead of saying that you probably passed the guy, just be honest and say, I did pass the guy up and I was wrong. Just say, I was wrong for doing that. Because the question is, how'd you pass him up? How'd you overlook him? Did you date him? Did you cheat on him? Think about it. How did you overlook this guy you should have married? Kevin Samuel said it. How did she lead a relationship? He says a lot of karma attached to it. So my question is, this good guy that you're supposed to marry, how did it dissolve? Tell us. What's the overlooking process? What's up, Cam? God doesn't call for us to be perfect. He called us for us to be willing. Amen. The verse you're quoting from Matthew calls for us to love one another, not necessarily be perfect. We're to be holy, yes. Ray said, poor relationship with moms, my auntie dating a white man, telling people that the white man is racist. That's what black women do. Black women date a white guy, say he's racist. It's chaos. It's chaotic. And he ain't racist. He ain't racist. But let's continue.
This picture is what you don't want to be at their age. And I love Claudia Jordan, but I'm just keeping it real, man. I look at the women in this picture and I'm like, wow, I can't believe they would take a picture together.
Now, this is that Dr. Bryant chick. She steps out and she has on a full lace outfit. Again, I tell you this, bad behavior. Bad behavior. This is bad behavior. And most people don't even associate wearing this outfit with bad behavior, but it's all talking slick, saying slick things, all that's bad behavior. It's all bad. And I'm telling you right now, ladies, if you are engaging in bad behavior, please repent right now and ask God to deliver you from that spirit, please. Because if you don't, it's almost irreversible and it's going to sabotage your relationships. It is. It's going to sabotage it. But she's supposed to be helping black women with relationships, and she's out here living her best life in a lace outfit. Now, she's the same woman that said the youngest she would date is 25 years old. So you would date a guy almost 20 years younger than you, but you're giving advice to women. Again, it's bad behavior. It's bad behavior. Now, she says she want to be married, but she's messing with a guy. And again, this woman right here, this Dr. Bryant woman, she's sleeping with a guy. Claudia Jordan, sleeping with a, like, these women are, they're not having sex with somebody. It's just the guy they're having sex with doesn't want to commit to them. So when they're out here dating, they're messing around with a guy. And it's easy to discern this. Just talk to him. Just talk to him. Ask him about Adam and Eve. Ask him give me attributes of a good woman and a wife. They're telling themselves. They're telling themselves.
ZF, I need these comments on for a second. I'm looking for somebody. You don't believe that most African American women are the same? You don't believe that? You really don't believe that?
No, most of them is not the same. They are not the same because.
So out of 10 black women, how many would you say wear hair weave? Tell me.
Oh Jesus! Oh, that's a lot. Like
Just
nine,
give me a
nine of them.
Okay,
Like,
black women the same. Out of 10 black women, how many of them would you say are dressing revealing?
Oh, that's. I would say like 8, 9.
Okay, hold on. Out of 10 black women, how many would you say have more than 2 children?
6, maybe 80%.
Okay, so most black women are the same, man. Turbulence, people.
And again, I'm taking a step further. I don't care if she got natural hair. I don't care if she's vegan. I don't care. Like, you can pick any criteria for a black woman, and I guarantee they all behave the same way. It's just different, varying degrees of how they behave, but they pretty much all behave the same way. They're going to rebel against authority. They're going to rebel against God's word. That's most of them, because they worship the unholy Trinity, which is Satan, the Sodomites, and the queens. Yes, we should strive to be like our Father in heaven. Like, we should strive to be perfect. Like, we should strive to not sin. So we should. The goal is to be perfect, to not sin. That's the goal. So the goal is to be perfect. But I have a book if you ever want to read it. Jewish Convert to Christianity, 1861. Johann Christoph Wingseal. Oh yeah, I would like to see that. Should be a good read. Okay, what am I missing? I'm missing is it this one?
Person or do the things in order to get. Many people still want marriage, but say they can't find the right person to do it with. Why is that? Because wanting marriage and being marriage minded are two different things. In other words, a lot of people want it, which is good, but a lot of people are not thinking right to get it. And that's bad. If you're not thinking about it in the right way, you can't be the person or do the things in order to get it and sustain it. I'm
gonna let it play again. So y'all didn't hear what she just said. Listen to her, what she just said.
Many people still want marriage, but say they can't find the right person to do it with. Why is that? Because wanting marriage and being marriage minded are two different things. In other words, a lot of people want it, which is good, but a lot of people are not thinking right to get it. And
again, there is a difference between someone wanting, for women specifically, I'm saying for men too. There is a difference between someone wanting to be married and someone wanting to be a husband to a wife and a wife to a husband. Those are two different things. Somebody just wanting to be married is going to do just that. They're just going to be married. And I can tell you now, anybody talking like that, they just want to be married, have done no kind of self-improvement work, zero. Because if you did do that work, you will be coming ready to be of service. If that work was done, you come ready to be of service.
many people still want marriage, but say they can't find the right person to do it with. Why is that? Because wanting marriage and being marriage minded are two different things. In other words, a lot of people want it, which is good, but a lot of people are not thinking right to get it. And that's bad. If you're not thinking about it in the right way, you can't be the person or do the things in order to get it and sustain it. I could be wrong, but I think of marriage mindset as a set of values, attitudes, and beliefs that make marriage possible and healthy. Consider this, for example, cornerstones and capstones. If you think of marriage as a capstone, it's the last piece of the puzzle of your successful life. You might even think of marriage as actively obstructing your success in other areas. If you think of marriage as a cornerstone, then it is a foundation where two people commit to each other, support each other, and grow and build together. So the capstone and the cornerstone people can both want marriage and go about it totally differently. Kind of like how
Notice what she said about capstone and cornerstone. Most women that I hear talk about marriage, it's a capstone, meaning that it's something it's not something to build off of. It's a foundation. It's something that they want as to a lot of times they think marriage is going to save them. Other times they think gives them more social value. They want to be able to say I'm married. They want to not be alone for rest. Like there's all kind of reasons. Capstone versus cornerstone. 99% of women I hear talk about marriage is capstone. It's capstone. So the problem with the capstone ideology is that, like Mike Krzyzewski said, Coach Krzyzewski, winning has to be joy. It can't be relief, meaning that marriage has to be a cornerstone. It can't be a means to an end. It can't be relief. It can't be something that you can escape in. It has to be the cornerstone. It has to be. But when I hear marriage discussed, most of the time they just want to be able to say they're married. Especially black women. Black women want to be able to say I'm married and that's it. I'm married. They don't care how dysfunctional it is. They don't care if the husband's unhappy. Trust me, I talk to these married men. Black men are being terrorized by black women. Terrorized. I talk to them. Let me rewind this real quick a little bit.
marriage as a cornerstone, then it is a foundation where two people commit to each other, support each other, and grow and build together. So the capstone and the cornerstone people can both want marriage and go about it totally differently. Kind of like how Republicans and Democrats both want. Anyway, here's what I think. People often don't come out and say if they're a cornerstone or a capstone person. Mindset shows up in priorities and decision making. So if you're looking for that one, don't just ask, do you want marriage or do you want children? You have to discern their mindset.
And what Taylor Chandler said, please go follow her, Taylor Chandler. I am Taylor Chandler. And what she said is powerful because she's talking about mindset. What is the mindset of the person saying they want to be married? What is their mindset? How do they view the world? How do they think? How do they process? What is the mind? Because that matters. So if you listen to them in conversation and you're hearing them talk and you're hearing things that are worldly, then you got your answer. If you listen to them talk and you hear worldly doctrine constantly, that you got your answer. Nikki said, I had to give my son to God in hopes that one day he'll be able to find a wife. What else can I do? That's a godly woman, where the default setting is to go to God and to go to God's word, not go to the world. So I guess all in all, when it comes to, I may have one more. Let me, I may have one more. Because I had a, was it this one?
Let's talk about how men have adapted to the changes that have come in the dating landscape with women. So in the last 60 or 70 years, since we've had feminism come onto the scene and we've had the sexual revolution, one of the things that women often say is how evolved they have become and how free they are and empowered they are and all of the things that they can do and own and be and have. But what's happened with men? A lot of women criticize the fact that men are not welcoming to all of this evolution, but in fact, they have adapted and women don't like it. It's interesting that women want to evolve into these totally new creatures, but they want to see men stay the same. They want to keep men in the protector and provider box. but women get to be in all of the boxes. So ladies, here is a harsh reality. Men are adapting to the changes that they see in modern day women. And a lot of them are just opting out. A lot of them are making the decision that, you know, they don't want to show up as a traditional man to a new age modern woman, because that just doesn't benefit them the same. It doesn't hit the same. So you need to understand that men are going to evolve too. They are going to become less masculine. They're going to become more egalitarian. And a lot of you and your true nature is not going to like it.
Yeah, and what she's saying is true, and it's sad because, you know, men are still the initiators of marriage. So even as bad as it is, the men are still initiating marriage. Even as horrible as it is, men are still initiating marriage. But even those guys are starting to say, you know what? Why? Because the problem is that marriage is not designed for a modern woman. I'm gonna say this again. Marriage was never intended for a modern woman. It wasn't. Marriage was intended for a traditional woman. A traditional man, right? Because marriage was ordained by God. God created marriage. So marriage is for the traditional man and woman. Marriage is not for modern women. It's not for women that are worldly. It's not. Marriage was never meant for worldly women. Marriage was meant for godly women and godly men. So I think that one of the major problems I see is that people are trying to get married that shouldn't even be married, because you're not actually a godly woman or a godly man. You shouldn't be trying to get married. And when I say godly woman or godly man, what is your default setting? Is your default setting to go to God's word, to pray, to fast? What's your default setting? Or is your default setting to go to the world and listen to Satan? So marriage was never intended, thank you, Cam, was never intended for a feminist. It's never intended for a modern woman. It's never intended for a woman that's rebellious. It's never intended for nothing. It wasn't intended for those. It was intended for a godly woman and a godly man. That's who marriage was intended for. So the problem I see is that these modern women are trying to be married when they really shouldn't. There's no need to be married, because why get married and terrorize the man and terrorize the household? All you do is invite Satan in. All you're going to do is invite Satan into the household. And so I would encourage, thank you, Stan, I would encourage any man, and I had to learn this, that when it comes to you finding a wife, you truly have to consult with God. I'll take it a step further. You need to say that, Lord, I do want to find a wife, order my steps to my wife. I thought, you know, in my naivety, that you don't involve God in who you pick as a mate. I was wrong. I was wrong because I spent many nights asking God, was this person the one? Praying for this person, when in actuality, they weren't. I was trying to make them the one, but they weren't. And it's because in the beginning, I should have said, order my steps to my wife. And also I should have been in my purpose. So, but my point is that God has to be included, especially in this day and age. Because in this day and age, it's just too much out there. It's just too much. It's too much. So I'm going to put a challenge to the men, and allow Claudia Jordan to be a cautionary tale. Men, these women are not going to pray for themselves. They're not going to do it. The only chance they're going to have is if we intercede and stand in the gap for them. That's going to be the only hope. Most of these women are talking to Satan. I'm just being honest. They worship the unholy Trinity, which is Satan, the Sodomites, and the queens. And so as men, we are going to have to stand in the gap. We are going to have to intercede. We're going to have to pray for them. We're going to have to, because trust me, they're under attack. Don't even know it. They can't even see it. Real Talk Nikki said, Thank you, Cam. Cam said, we never included God in the very process he created. Hold on. I'm sorry, Nikki. Hold on one second. Let me go to Cam real quick. Cam just said something so powerful. She said, we never included God in the very process he created. So when it comes to marriage, God needs to be included in finding a wife or to be found by a husband. God needs to be included. Order my steps, Lord, to my wife. Lord, if he shows up, let me know it's him. Include God. I'm sorry. Uh, 2 Corinthians 6:14 says to not be equally yoked. Women who aren't women of God can't ask for a man of God, just like men who aren't men of God can't ask women of God. And amen. And that's the thing, right? Is that people that aren't godly, and when I say godly, I mean truly godly. I mean your default setting is God. That means when the pressure's on, you turn to God. You don't turn to the world. That's a person of God. I'm not saying you got to be perfect, but your default setting isn't the world. So a godly woman should not be asking for a godly man, and an ungodly woman should not be asking for a godly man, and an ungodly man should not be asking for a godly woman. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple. Well, listen, you all. I thank y'all for tuning in today. I love you all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I hope y'all had a great time in this show. I'm gonna go live tomorrow, and I'll be doing a live on Frank Zanu going against the Bliggities. But listen, you all, I love you all. Ladies, if you're listening, you need to stop talking to Satan. And you know it's Satan because he agrees with you. So that's how you know it's the devil. He agrees with your emotions. Stop communicating with Satan. Sit down and be still. And be still doesn't mean I'm at home. No, be still means the TV's off, the phone is off, the music isn't playing, and you're in God's word. Or you're praying. That's being still. Being still is all distractions are cut off. That's being still. Not just being at home is not being still because your mind is still everywhere. Fellas, we have to pray for these women. And we have to lead by example because women are constantly looking for ways to engage in bad behavior. And most of the time, they're going to justify it based on what the men do. So they'll say, because he did this, I'm allowed to do this. This is most women. No accountability. The man did this, so I can do this. I'm saying that we have to be a good example for these women. We do. We have to be a good example. Anyway, I love y'all, and I will see you all tomorrow. We will be having a live on Frank Zanu. I want y'all to have a blessed night, and see y'all tomorrow. Love y'all.